And then we had to go through a calibration cycle to ensure that post-launch the print tray and the printer head were aligned well so we could get ready for our first real part to be printed. So before we launched the 3D printer to the International Space Station, we actually printed all the parts on the ground as control samples. Now we are actually printing them on the space station, and those parts will be returned to the ground so we can compare them to parts like these. This is an example of a part that we printed on the ground and was actually the first part that we printed on International Space Station. So this 3D printer is actually the first 3D printer ever operated in space. And using the International Space Station to test this technology is very important. It's the only laboratory of its kind where we can test this in microgravity and develop the technologies needed for exploration missions to make sure that we have the parts that we need in case something breaks or gets lost on the longer missions like to Mars or to asteroids. So up until now, we have had to launch every single piece or part that we need from the Earth to space. This experiment is very important because for the first time ever, we are actually able to email a file to space to get the part we need instead of launching it. It was a very powerful moment to see all of the hard work that this team has put into making this happen come to fruition, and to know that we were part of making history of printing the first part ever in space.